Off top, Walter Payton's son told me that his dad would take the insoles out of his shoes and play. He never played an NFL game or practice with the insoles in his cleats. Play the music.
This is the Domonique Foxworth Show.
Welcome to the Domonique Foxworth Show. We are here in the wonderful city of New Orleans. I'm joined by Charlie Kravitz and Top Jeff, everyone's favorite Jeff Saturday. What's up, Jeff?
Take that, Darlington.
Yeah,
love it. Off the
Charlie,
top for me, baby.
Darlington is Sue Jeff.
Yeah.
He's always going
Yeah.
to be Sue Jeff around here. He's likable, but he's no Jeff Saturday. We got some crazy stories,
Yeah.
too. Like
He's a good Jeff, though. He's just
a
not.
great
He's
Jeff.
not a great.
Yeah,
No,
he's a great Jeff.
he's a good Jeff.
He's a good Jeff.
This is a great Jeff.
Fair point. I don't know where to start. I feel like we should save all of our Super Bowl Gallivant stories for a recap show next week. But I feel like we have to get into the Charlie story. Like it's a surprising turn of events that Charlie has become undercover star of the Super Bowl this week.
Pseudo star.
He's
a pseudo star. He's a pseudo
Tell
star.
your story, Jeff.
An anonymous star.
Tell your story.
Okay, so if you're listening to the show, you probably know my reverence and fandom for one Jayden Daniels. I've referred to him as Jesus.
Yeah.
And
Man crush.
yeah, you know,
Respect.
we've been through a lot. I was born and raised in D.C. Not great quarterback situation. Anyway, so I get on my flight here down to New Orleans, and I see this tall, thin figure in commander sweats, but has a black hoodie and a shiesty pulled up on his face, walk onto the plane. And I'm in group 4. He's in group 1.
I mean,
But so I don't get a confirmation. I'm like, that's got to be Jayden.
His mom's with him too.
Yeah, his mom's with him. I got on the plane. I immediately recognize his mom, and I see him sitting there. He has over-the-ear headphones on, his shiesty pulled up, and I was like, I have to say something, but I don't really want to bother him. I'm texting Domonique. He's like, you got to shoot your shot. So I see him, and I look at Jayden's mom, and I'm like, Jayden? And point over, and she's like, yes, quietly. I don't think she wants to cause a scene as people are boarding this plane. And I just give her a little, your son, he changed my life. Jayden looks at me, pulls down the shiesty a little bit, and gives me a little thumbs up. And I think nothing of it. We take the flight. Afterwards, Dominique's like, how did you not get a media contact? So I go full DK Metcalf in the New Orleans airport. Sprint down the terminal.
Yeah, that's a new reference because running in the airport, we used to say a different name.
Yeah.
Now we say DK Metcalf. I like that.
I was hawking down Buda
evolved.
Baker. I get on the escalator right by them, and I'm like, I asked Jayden's mom if they have a press contact. She gives me the Gmail. I'm like, oh, this is going to come in handy at some point.
Right.
Little did I know he's going to do the Pat McAfee show, and we can roll in this clip right now.
Fans very appreciative, I assume?
Yeah, we were on the plane, me and my mom flying here, and then one of the fans told my mom, like, your son's, like, not knowing I was sitting right next to her because I was all covered up. And they told my mom, like, your son saved my life.
Jayden, you did save my life. I misspoke. You didn't change my life. You saved my life.
Here's my favorite part of the whole thing. At the very beginning, he's like, we've gone through some stuff together. What is Charlie going through?
Yeah, Charlie was there for the transfers. Charlie was there for the hard workouts, and he was there for the 2-a-days in Louisiana. Son, Charlie was there.
Let me tell you something. If you're a Commanders fan, you got it out the mud.
The best part, when we told Jeff this story, Jeff's response was, Charlie ain't the first grown white man that told Jade he saved his life.
That's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
fact. That is a fact.
Then he starts, you know who? Dan Quinn. He
You
said
know
it.
it.
Cliff
Yeah.
Kingsbury.
Oh, he said it.
Adam Peters.
Oh, he said it.
There's three.
There's
There's three
a
already.
long list.
Hey, Luke McCaffrey soon.
So Charlie's become a star. I went and told the McAfee guys that you they're at a stage next to us that you are the guy in the story. So I'll see if I can advocate for you to be on the show.
That would be
Oh, my
fantastic.
God.
And we gotta get Jayden on our show
Oh,
at some point.
definitely.
So like this is a momentous occasion. So the
No
funniest
doubt.
thing, before we'll get to the Super Bowl stuff, but I'll tell you, before he told the story on McAfee, Charlie's been different. I'm so serious. You think I'm joking? I'm so serious. Is Charlie?
too much.
No. Charlie's been different, and he's been like half joking. It's like it changed me when I ran him down in the airport. I'm different now. Charlie's been so much more confident and assertive.
It's built him. It's built him.
He was like, "Oh,
Hey.
I think I'm different."
We've been through a lot. We've been through a lot.
There is pre Jesus introduction and post meeting Jesus, and this Charlie post Jesus Charlie, he's been saved. He's been
saved.
washed.
Charlie.
We've been through some together.
Oh, gosh. You are the best. You are the best.
Yeah,
That's going to be one for the ages, right? That's one for the
And
ages.
so the thing is if you'd asked me 3 days ago would I have had the confidence to run down Jayden Daniels to the airport, I would have said absolutely not. But I didn't want to let down Domonique.
No.
He told you shoot your shot.
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
Had to.
You got to.
Yeah, I mean, worst thing that happen is they roll their eyes at you, you move on. Like, you're not going to beat you up. Yeah, that's fine. It's
Good.
fine. You can handle it.
It's led to, I told Brandon Marshall came over, I introduced myself. I was like, Domonique was only afraid of the fast guys.
He was talking on my behalf.
I don't know why.
He was talking on my behalf.
I like
told
it.
you it's a new-
It just came out.
like
And he went up, like Brandon Marshall did come over and talk to him. He just like, now I'm confident guy. He
Right.
goes
Yeah.
to Brandon Marshall, like, hey, Brandon, you know what? Domonique always told me you couldn't beat him. And he was only afraid of the fast guys. He's talking on my behalf.
Well, no, so first I introduced myself, and he was like, I never beat Domonique deep. And I was like, yeah, because he's only afraid of the fast
Oh,
guys.
I love that. I love that.
Saw Dan Levitard. I was like, what's up, arch nemesis?
Oh,
What up,
yeah,
what up,
that's right.
Nem- What
I
up,
forgot about
Nemi?
that.
Oh.
So we saw Levitard out here, and he went over to Dan and was like, what's up, arch nemesis? And Dan was like, you're a fly around my tail. just kill him.
dropped
Like,
him.
we can't be arch nemesis if I'm a hippo and you're a fly.
You got to build. You got to build.
Well, this is what sometimes the confidence gets a little bit delusional.
Yeah.
But we should.
No, I like it. That's cornerbacks mentality. We got 2 shutdown corners on this show
That's right.
now. We can't be beat.
Well-
and we got a center.
It's the new you, dog. It's the new you.
No. 2 centers, 1 cornerback.
Yeah, Charlie was a high school center. I've seen the tape, and Charlie, I'll show you some tape of Charlie playing center.
I got to see that.
Domonique said it very kindly. I won the rep. It wasn't a good block.
But his guy didn't make the play.
That's
it.
it.
That's
the
it.
box you
Yeah,
check.
That's it.
You got to
Did
make
he
the play.
No.
Yeah. It's a plus. It's a plus. I love this new you. I
we're-
love this new you.
Yeah, Charlie's rep is a far cry from what we're going to watch on Sunday, transition to some football, especially on the Eagles side of the ball. So, Charlie, where do you want to start with this?
Yeah, I think I will say our audience is probably much more interested in this game than my high school tape or my story, so we'll get into it.
No, I don't know, actually.
no chance.
They can only get your high school stories in one spot. They
Yes.
can get takes on this game elsewhere.
It's a good point. So there is something I want to start with, which is I'm going to start with the Eagles side of this. We know they want to run the ball.
Yeah.
That's what they do best. They are one of the most athletic offensive lines we've seen in a decade plus.
Yes.
They have the best running back. They have all these weapons. But inherently in doing that, you shorten the game. You make it so there are fewer possessions. You're going to have these long extended drives. This is something that could lead to a situation where it's a close game in the fourth quarter. If you're the Eagles, how do you toe the line from playing to your strengths as this running team versus being aggressive because you have these incredible skill guys and you don't want to end up in a fourth quarter where it's a close game and Mahomes has the ball?
Yeah. I would tell you that would be a fairly typical thought process. The difference, though, with the Eagles is they have the same, if not a better chance of hitting a big play with Saquon Barkley as opposed to their passing game. And so I said, Neek and I talk, and we've talked about this on the show, like the unexpected explosive play that Saquon brings, and especially if the Chiefs decide to sell out by putting 8 in the box or corner blitzing or doing something to try to, walking guys to the edge to try to chase down the backside, that opens up gaps for even bigger plays. And so, it's a high risk, high reward situation for the Chiefs defensively. But I think from the Eagles, what you just said is the trick every other team falls into that hopefully they will not. Because you saw the Texans Mixon was running the ball well on him. Got away from it. Cook was having a great day and 6+ yards a carry. Last 7 or 10 plays, they don't use them. So staying true to where your heavy hitter is, I think would be a significant mistake if they go away from it.
Yeah, I think it's a risky when you have more time to think about it and get ready, because I think I would, if I were running the Eagles, and maybe this is like overthinking it, if I had the offensive strategy for the Eagles, I would take shots on early first downs.
Yeah.
And that's probably me talking myself out of having the advantage that you have, because I was saying to Charlie earlier, even if the Chiefs decide that they want to stop the run, they still may not be able to stop the run.
Amen.
Like, everyone that the Eagles play decide that they are going to take away Saquon Barkley, and Saquon still has good games, and their running attack still is special. But my concern is, I think the thing that you were outlining, Charlie, the reason why I might be aggressive early if I am the Eagles is I don't know that you beat the Chiefs in a close game. I don't know that you beat the Chiefs in – it's kind of like – where it's, all right, for the Eagles, it's like what we do best is run the ball. You ask what the Chiefs do best, it's situational football.
Right.
It's not a specific thing. It's a situation. And that situation that they are most comfortable in, they have the best quarterback for, they have the best defensive coordinator for, they have the best defensive tackle for, they have the best corner for. Like, that is late game, close situations. That is how they live their whole life. That is why midway through this season, I foolishly was like, you know what? Three-peat ain't happening.
Right.
Because they were like, you know what? We just want to get to the end of the game where we are most comfortable in, and we're in that deep water where no one has had more experience than us, and no one is more comfortable.
Yeah. I think for me, as I look at the way that the Eagles stack up, if you're looking at them on both sides of the ball, if I'm the Eagles, especially the defense, the way their defense wants to play, I'm going to rush with my front four. I'm going to run the football, and unless I absolutely can't, I'm sticking to. I'm staying with the girl that I brought to the dance, right? Like because the minute you go away, you are weakening what you do well and what you do exceptionally well for something you really haven't done this season. And so now you've increased your risk portfolio by going, hey, I'm going to go something outside of what I do now. If it's 100% a matchup thing and you're like, this is our matchup, right? We're going to go take advantage of this corner against this. Okay, I have no problem calling off whatever you have and go, we got a yellow call. We used to have those in Indy where it'd be like, we got a mismatch outside, yellow, whatever it was, ball's going to be snapped quick and somebody's going to go make a play. But I think in totality, if I'm Sirianni, bro, I'm killing more.
I got a question for you.
I'm doing it.
I got a question for you. What is the scenario? And this is going to sound like I'm being sarcastic, but I'm being completely genuine, because I think the way that you deliver the concept, like, it makes complete sense. But what is the scenario where you would argue that the best strategy is not for the Eagles, is not to run the ball and play play defense?
Yeah, I think if you're living in, let's say you start the first quarter and they're bringing edge blitz or edge pressure and you can't stop it, and you're getting a bunch of behind the yard stops. I mean, behind the line of scrimmage stops, or even 1 or 2 yard games.
And you see that matchups.
And you see that they're going to do it, right? They're going to keep bringing it. They're going to do it until you change something up. Then I would go and say, okay, they've adapted. Now we got to go press the ball outside. And again, maybe they go back and start playing coverage, and then we can get back to the run game. But if they stick with that plan, that's when I see they fully sold out, and that Spags has fully sold out, because he'll show it. He'll tip it, like he'll show you what he's got, and it's just a matter of, are you willing to go do it?
Another question for you. You and I talked last week a little bit about a strategy to slow this rushing attack down, and the Eagles have had a lot of success with their pulling game.
Yes.
And I was suggesting to you that if I were a defensive coordinator, I would take the inside shoulder of the pullers and spill the rushing attack. So essentially, for those who don't understand like this stuff, rather than allowing trying to play the gaps more honestly, I would take away the inside gaps and try to force Saquon to the outside. For me, that it takes away the advantage of the guard's size.
Right.
And it forces the safeties and linebackers to race Saquon to the edge.
That's right.
What would be the answer, I guess? Hold on, I see Charlie doesn't like what I'm saying.
No, it's not that I don't like it, but is there, so if that seems incredibly logical, but if you're Spags or so-and-so, are you afraid of, like, Afraid's not the wrong word.
Yeah.
How much do you balance the fact that you're like, I don't want this guy to have the edge on me?
Right.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
want Saquon on the edge.
Yeah. So if you think about what happened in the NFC Championship game, the first play of the game gets caught. They do a pitch.
Think about it all the time.
Because they knew exactly they were going to do that pressure, right? They're going to bring the edges. Instead, we're going to pitch it outside. Mailata catches the edge, catches, and Wagner gets tripped up over the pile. Everybody gets dumped, and next thing you know, it's around the house for a touchdown. That's your risk when you start playing that way. Your answer, it sounds. I know this is real football, but counter GT where the guard pulls and the tackle wraps or any kind of counter. The play off of that is the toss, right? They shut down your counter, they shut down your trap. You're going to throw a toss around it because that means they are closing the edge.
Right.
But the true answer would be Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
That's the part.
Right.
That's the part, in my opinion, where. That's the real poison. That's the poison pill for the Chiefs.
Right.
Because they can chase that backside tackle and they can catch that play, right? So that they can. But the answer for the Eagles, which most people don't have an answer for, is that Jalen can pull it, and now you have the backside receiver who's a good blocker,
right? And
now you're one-on-one with a safety or a backside linebacker. So that's the true poison pill, and that's the one I'm not really sure. Because again, as much as you like running your quarterback, you don't want him getting knocked out, bro. And you saw him get knocked out. And what happened when you did? Kenny Pickett's coming in. That's not what you're looking for. That is a risk, but it's kind of, do you force that risk?
And they lost to a team that they later dominated when Jalen was
dominated.
Yeah.
Well, so I do. It was men versus boys. I feel confident. I have my hand up.
We've been through some stuff, though.
Yeah.
We've been through some stuff.
I've seen some and that was the NFC Championship game. So, Jeff, I do want to get into the Jalen Hurts aspect of this, but there was one thing. You guys talked about the Chiefs being the masters of situational football. You are uniquely qualified to talk about what it's like going up against one of those teams because you guys scaled the mountain in Indianapolis and came back, what was it, like 16 points down in 06 against the Patriots? But that was before Mahomes. That was the team where it's like you don't want to get into a close game against Tom Brady and the Patriots. How aware were you guys in the game planning of that type of thing? Because I imagine that's illustrative to how the Eagles are feeling.
100%. You're very aware, and you know kind of for lack of a better term, the demons you got to exercise. And Teddy Bruschi and I have this conversation all the time. We finally found our formula to beat them, and we actually had played them a really close game at week 1 of the season, and we ran the same play, and I mean we ran it like 30 times in a row, just belly, inside, left, and right. And we saw that the answer for the Patriots, for us, was going to be physicality. And as we flipped it around and played in that game, we had so much more confidence. I think that to me, there's no, and I said this all the time, and y'all make fun of me all the time because we get to run, right?
Run the ball,
but at the end of the day, there is no answer for physicality in the NFL. When you can impose your will, I don't care what scheme you run, if the dudes in the front are blocking and pushing guys back 3 and 4 yards, it's a long afternoon. It doesn't matter what you're dialing up. And so I think that, to me, is where the Eagles got to just decide we're a better team. We're going to go and impose our will.
Yeah, and you guys changed some though. Like, it's interesting, but I guess it's because you're arguing that the Eagles shouldn't, but you guys, I guess you're arguing that you guys changed from less physical to more physical. And the Eagles should not change from more physical to a more air attack.
Unless, that's what I'm saying, unless the Chiefs just completely sell out and just go. Because, the thing with New England was they would change from quarter to quarter and from half to half. So you would constantly have to evolve. That Spags, he's got that in him, right?
Yeah.
Like, he'll wait, man. He'll wait that last moment. He's going to bring something he hasn't shown you. He's going to do all those things. So trying to figure out when he's going to do that, you're chasing a tail, bro.
How conscious were you of, like, so it feels like Charlie's interaction with Jayden Daniels has given him the confidence to ask a great question, which he just asked a second ago. How conscious were you of the fact that this was a bit of a mental or psychological hurdle? Because I think that exists, and that's part of the reason why I want to be aggressive early if I'm the Eagles, because I know I get to the fourth quarter and some of my team is going to be like,
tighten up.
They're going to be like, oh, well, you know what we don't want?
Right.
We don't want Mahomes in the spot. And I imagine you guys are down 16 against the team that always beats you in the playoffs, the Patriots, and somebody on your team, or for whatever reason, that mental, was it about having confidence in the plan or having some, or I know what your answer is going to be. Can I guess?
Yeah, what is it?
Physicality.
No. You know what's funny is when we were actually down 18, it was 21-3. And then we kick a field goal and to go into halftime. And I remember I had given this speech before the game, and it was the Herb Brooks USA Hockey. You know, I basically just ripped off that speech and said 9 out of 10. Maybe this is our time, right? It's our time. And it was solid speech. Chest bumps, butt slaps, the whole deal, right? 24. But we're down 21-3 on my.
You're like, my speech ain't working.
Bad speech. But I'm coming up the sideline and Tony Dungy is saying, do you still believe? We go get 3 here. We have a formula to come back in. And when he got in the locker room, Tony's like, everything we've done, because Peyton had thrown a pick 6 to Asante Samuel down the edge, we have done everything to shoot ourselves in the foot. They have not seen our best. If we give them our best in all phases, they will not be able to, because they will start to tighten up. And when we flipped it, I tell this story. When they flipped it, I scored it. It was like a fumble, and Domonique Rhodes fumbled. I got it, and I got in the end zone, right? And Teddy and I are scrambling for the ball, and I remember getting up. Oh, dream. And I remember looking at their eyes, and their players started to argue, and it was the first time that I had seen Patriots argue, bro. And it was like, Will Fork was yelling at the linebacker, you're in this gap. No, you get a cross face, you anchor here, and I saw, and we began to see them do what had happened to us. And it was literally just us playing our style. Like, we hit big plays, we threw the ball, we didn't stop.
Yeah.
We were aggressive and everything. And but we knew if we played our best ball, and I think that's the hurdle we had to get over. That if we both played our best, were we still the best? And that's what
it's super interesting to think about how differently it would have been had it been like a normal game, and you weren't getting blown out.
Yeah.
And you weren't like,
you can't go caution to win, right?
Yeah, it's different when you're like, oh, we got the lead, they got the lead. Like, that feels stressful when you come out the locker room like, damn, we down 18.
Yeah. We better let it rip.
Yeah, and then that's like, to whatever degree we believe in momentum, it definitely feels like it shifts, and the confidence draws from that. So
100%.
Strategy for the Eagles: go down 18.
No, sir.
Give a bad speech and go down 18, baby. That's all you got to do, and they'll really find out if you believe.
I don't think that worked for the Ravens in the AFC Championship game last year. It just made it tighter and tighter.
No. The Ravens probably gave a good pregame speech. You got to give the bad pregame speech.
Okay.
And then you got to believe.
Okay. So we touched on a lot of things I think are really interesting. So I want to go back to Hurts for a little bit. How good of a game do you think he has to have for the Eagles to win? I mean, he was excellent in the NFC Championship game, but they are also one of the most loaded rosters we've seen in a while around the quarterback.
I mean, I think decision making to me is so. And Nick and I talked about this morning a little bit. Here's my thing: if I'm Spags, I might put McDuffie on Devonta Smith and then double Brown, and then figure out some way to help on Goddard or hit him, have an end, check him, whatever we can do. But whatever they decide their plan is to limit their receivers, Hurts is going to have to figure out who to get the ball to and on time.
Right.
And I think when they start blitzing you or start pressuring, it's what is my answer? And I think Jalen has to have the answers. And he had them in the NFC Championship game because they pressed him up, and he's like, shoot, this guy's better than that guy. I'm going to go throw this guy. The Chiefs are not going to make it nearly that glaring. It's going to look a little different.
And the Chiefs should mix it up also, because I think that you can't have him, you have to have him, Jalen Hurts, have second thoughts. But I think to answer your question succinctly is he has to have a flawless game, but he doesn't have to have a good statistical game. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
It's like,
for sure,
he can have 120 yards passing and 50 yards rushing and a few touchdowns here or there. He doesn't have to have the 300-yard passing like he did last time that they played, with also being the team's leading rusher.
He was amazing.
He was amazing.
Unbelievable.
But you know what he wasn't? He wasn't flawless.
Right.
The
And
fumble.
it's ridiculous to blame him for that loss, but it's also ridiculous to think that there is any other reason why they lost that game than because of that fumble.
Right.
And I think that's another thing about the situational football. The Chiefs don't turn
You
the
really
playoffs.
think so? You think it was more that than them getting confused on the motion on defense in that game? Sorry, now I'm just picking nits from 2022 because that seemed like they collapsed with that in the second half.
I guess it's me unfairly using like a TV
a singular moment,
and trope, and I would say that the reason why I point to that is because that was such a huge and rare play.
Agreed.
Like the touchdowns, they got them confused. It happens. They were in the red zone. Like they might have scored anyway.
It was a bunch of times. Though.
That one play,
Right.
that doesn't happen. Like a scoop and score is like a rare occurrence. To have that happen in the Super Bowl, like if you ask me, like the reason why, I think most people you ask, what's the difference in that game? It was Jalen Hurts who was balling, moving the ball, fumbling.
Right.
And then in the second half, it's also the Chiefs offensively were unstoppable because of whatever adjustments they made.
They were unreal. But the thing you said, I think, I liken it to this year, right? With Lamar Jackson. So the first interception, you can say we'll cancel it out, right? Because they don't score. But it was a bad ball, or bad decision, whatever it was with he and the receiver, whoever's fault it is, right? But that fumble that they scooped and took. And they end up getting points that way. Yeah. That's up. Same with Jalen Hurts. Like there are certain plays, and you don't know which ones they are, that do take a monumental shift in the game. That was it. Like to your point, you don't get many scoop and scores, bro. Like a pick six, a scoop and score. It is a
defensive
massive
points.
game changer.
Yeah.
It's not just we turned it over on their 25. They got to drive it. No, bro. They not only took it from us, they gained points. That's a massive one.
Yeah.
So you just mentioned in-game adjustments. I think that's one of the most interesting things about this. Like we look at the Chiefs, whether it's Reed or Spags or Mahomes, who's able to adjust where his game is on the fly. This game is I think this is going to be a huge defining part of it. Which team do you think it's more important for that's going to have to adjust over the course of this game? I mean, that's impossible to predict, but I feel like we're selling the Eagles coaching staff short with this, with what they've done this year.
All right, let me say this. To me, it's the players' in-game adjustments that matter the most, right? And so your coaches can clue you in, they can key you in, they can but players have to collect information. And I saw the Bills Chiefs game where they just did these replays, and it was Travis Kelce who said to he was talking about the
13-second game.
It was 13 seconds, and I remember him saying, "Hey, first he tells Tyreek Hill what to do.
Right.
He's like, I'm going to do this. You go inside where to get the ball." And then he's like, "Hey," and then he says to Mahomes, "Hey, if they give me this look," and Mahomes goes, "Trav, you got it, you got it." That ain't just coaching, bro.
Yeah.
Now the difference is that Kelce is still there, but all his receivers are fairly new, right? Hopkins is fairly new. Worthy is new. I know that Brown has been there, but he's been injured. So that communication is going to be much more about the coaches than the players, where I think Philly, they should be able to adapt.
That's interesting because you make a good point, because I've been making the argument that the Chiefs are more well prepared to make these adjustments because they're here all the time. But you're right. Talk about teams that have been together. Like those receivers and that quarterback in Philly have been together longer than Patrick Mahomes and his receivers.
Right.
Which is why we see in these big games, Travis Kelce is probably the guy that he relies on the most. And I also think that part of the in-game adjustment stuff, those things kind of take time when you're making particularly passing game adjustments, because it's normally a reaction to something that they're taking away. And so with the Chiefs' offensive line issues, which it's a wonder we haven't talked about that with having you here right now, is with moving Tooney out to the tackle. He's not a perfect tackle. He's like a serviceable tackle.
Sure.
Which means that you still don't feel completely safe dropping back. And then it weakens the interior of their offensive line where Jalen Carter is, which he's one of the best. I mean, he's one of the best defensive tackles in football right now.
He's a little under the weather too, and they're happy about it.
For sure.
Every offensive lineman right now for the game is like, man, I hope he gets really healthy next Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like, let him stay real sick. And listen, I know everybody, but that's not sportsman. It is, dog.
It is.
Hey, I'm just hoping for a little bit of extra, just until Tuesday. Get that flu bug, stay with you. You know what I mean? A little dehydration, gonna be hard. No, but because he is a man child, and on the inside. And to your point with Tooney moving out, Caliendo being in there, and now he's sandwiched between Humphrey, who's an All-Pro, and Tooney, who's been an All-Pro at guard. But that communication and the way that they want to, and even Davis, he matches up, man, like the push. And so for me, it's not as much are they getting sacks. It's are they in Mahomes' face? Are their hands up? Is he having to pull the ball down? Is he going to mess with his timing, especially against a zone where you know he knows where the ball's got to go? And then when he has to pull it down, do you rally and not let him get to the next level? I think Caliendo for me it's nerve-wracking. But I would doubt Carter lines up over there that often.
Really?
I think he's comfortable over that right guard. He's got his moves set up, and I know people are like, well, they move Chris Jones all over, and they
but
do.
it's different for
but it's different for everybody. You know what I mean? It's different for how you set up, how your feet set up, and timing, all those things.
Yeah, and I think that they would like to keep him stationary because then they can build off of that because they know how you're going to attack Carter. Right. Then you can figure out what blitzes or what games you're going to run opposite him. But the fact of the matter is, it don't matter who you put in front of Carter. Like, I don't really like. There's not a great win man on man because he's gonna beat most guys.
Dude, he's the most double teamed player in the NFL this year and has been the most double-team player in the playoffs. And you saw what he just did in this. Like, it doesn't matter. Yeah. And so you're asking Trey Smith to have his best day. If you're gonna man him up and go, hey Trey, we're gonna slide Humphrey to go help Tooney, like, bro, that's a big ask. Like, I love Trey, but like I'm just telling you, no offensive line wants to sign up for that, dog. You know what I mean? You're like, hey, slide my way some too. It is so to your point, to move him over would actually help at times because now you just do a full slide as opposed to just being able to turn to a guy. I mean, it's just there's no easy if they get off in the middle and Nolan Smith starts playing because Carter calls all their games. Like
really?
He calls all of them. And so these guys trust bro. So the play in the Rams game where he sacks Stafford, he faked the game. And that he had just set up coming from the other side. So he fakes it. He gives the head look. The center turns his head to go to pick up the game, and freaking Carter just turns it. It's the worst feeling in the world. As a center, you just panic. You're, throw it, God, throw it. Because it happens so freaking fast, you got no answer.
Yeah, I'm interested also how they handle the RPO game because that's for how the Chiefs handle, because they're both heavy RPO teams, how the Chiefs handle the Eagles RPO game, because part of that is when we talk about, like we did it a lot, we talk about Lamar and the Ravens rushing attack, where even if you play it perfectly, then what you have set up is a mismatch.
Right.
It's like best case scenario, you got Lamar by himself in a one-on-one, or you got Derrick Henry in the hole against a safety. That means that you did it right. I feel the same way about this RPO game. It's like best case scenario, you play it perfectly. That means that Jalen has a player on him, or Saquon in a player, or one of those receivers in working behind someone in the zone. Like, it just doesn't feel like there's a good recipe for it. And if you overplay the passing part of it, then you're dealing with those enormous guards and tackles just pushing you back. It's a scary situation.
I got a question for you on this, because I was just thinking this. The RPO, do y'all truly look at it as a triple option, or do you look at it as, because everybody talks about it being the new triple option, but as an offensive player, that's not how we...
Yeah, you think about it as a running game,
correct.
Right?
Yeah, it's our run game, and then it's, okay, if our run game isn't effective or they give us a bad look, this is our answer. But do y'all look at it as... Because we don't look at it as all three are equal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we know what we want to do. You know what I mean? So
I think most defenses are the same way. Is that they look at it as a running attack, but they recognize that you can force the action. I think it's the best way to do it is, and I guess that's why they give the triple option thing. Is like when you are the triple option as the analogy, because which is essentially when you're playing the triple option, well, you're deciding where you want them to go with the ball. You're forcing them to do what you want to do. And that's the problem with this conversation. Is like, what do you really want them to do?
Yeah, which one you want to pick?
It's a very pick your poison situation.
It's really interesting. The more we talk about this, it just seems like that the Eagles create more conflict than the Chiefs do at this point.
This is where we end up with all these conversations.
Yeah, and I wonder, is that just like a factor of the way that the Chiefs play, where they've done this 18 times this year, where they convince us over and over again that it's going to be a close game, that they execute better? Is that just it, or what are the conflicts other than Mahomes and Kelsey
No.
that they're creating for the Eagles.
No, I think the Eagles defense sets up great for Mahomes, bro. I really do. I think Mahomes can pick them apart. They're a great defense. But if you don't think Patrick Mahomes wants to see a zone and wants to go and let his guys know where they are, and then go to the sideline and tell them, hey, do that. If you don't think they're talking about every route combination and what the adjustment's going to be this last week, as they've had 2 weeks to prepare, they'll be sharp. They'll be as sharp as knife you can have, bro. Like, they will be ready to rock. Because for us, when we walk against a zone, the things that concern us, tip ball at the line of scrimmage, we throw a Nolan Ryan at the line of scrimmage, our quarterback's getting pressed, and he tosses one because y'all's eyes are all looking this way.
Right.
But if we block it up, we're thinking 5 yards, 7 yards, 8 yards. Oh, somebody missed a tackle, 12 yards. Like, we get into great rhythms against zone teams as opposed to we might get shut down, man, and then a big play. Yeah. But it's much more frustrating against man than it is zone because you don't move it as fast.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the man, you could pick the wrong guy and he's not open, and then you're in panic mode. Zone is like, it's more like an option. Is you're reading what you have, or you're dictating to them. Is like, if a quarterback's staring in one place, the defense is going to go there, then it opens things up. Like, zone is veteran quarterbacks, comfortable quarterbacks who are protected. Like, zone only works if you get pressure.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
It only works if you get
four
pressure.
can't get home, bro. You sitting back there all day. I'm telling you right now, dude. We loved. Now, when people will get into that man match zone, that cover 2 man, that becomes more difficult because they umbrella you still. But when you go knowing a team wants to rush you with the front 4. You feel good. You're going to get first downs. You're going to control the line of scrimmage. You're going to control the time of possession. Like, all of those things go in because it's a bend but don't break, right?
Yeah.
Make them kick field goals if they do drive it down, but we're looking for a
And
tip,
it's also like,
sack.
it's not only bend but don't break. It's anticipating that at some point you guys will make a mistake.
Exactly.
Keep it in
It's
front.
like, keep it in front of you, and generally that works.
Yes.
Because most quarterbacks will make a mistake at some point. Someone will fumble. Someone will get a holding. There'll
That's
be a
right.
false start. There'll be some sort of drive-killing situation. The problem with that strategy and why you think Patrick Mahomes sets up well for this is that ain't who we sit.
He don't make a lot of mistakes.
No, he's also the best ball placement of any quarterback. Maybe since Peyton or Brady. Like, that's it.
I got this is a question that I've been kind of struggling with, and I know because I've been with you for several weeks now. I know that you're leaning towards the Chiefs. And the way that I think about this is like there's 2 little angel and the devil, I guess, on my shoulders, and I know the angel on my shoulder is Jeff Saturday, who knows football and knows physicality and respects the line play and respects all the fundamentals of football and running the ball. And I hear Jeff Saturday, the one in my head, yelling at me that who's going to win? It's the more physical team. It's the team that runs the ball better. It's the team that plays defense better. And that's the Eagles. But then somehow Jeff Saturday is like, you know what? I'm going to pick the Chiefs. So, like, the other side of that is like a heart argument. It's very much
100%.
like, but look, it's Mahomes. He's magical.
Yes.
So, like, what? I need you to explain to me why you, Mr. Football Man, Mr. Physicality, is picking the team that is banking on Mahomes' magic, not punch you in the mouth physicality.
Yeah, I'll say this. I think 2 weeks with Andy Reid and Spagnuolo gives me pause.
Okay.
And this is what I've seen so many teams do. They change who they are. If Philly stays, this is like what my heart's telling me, what my wallet says, right? like it's hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes because I do think he stacks up extremely well against a zone. I don't care how good the team is, how good he picks apart zones, right? So I feel comfortable they'll be able to move the ball. If Philly stays with what I think they should do, I would tell you they're going to win the game. The problem is I've seen too many guys.
You think they're going to get out of character?
Get out of character and just start playing in San Francisco, bro. You go back to all these different games and you watch these games play out, and it frustrates you because you're like, and you see it happen. And I see the metamorphosis from Ravens, and you're like, what are we doing? What is our plan here, Todd? Like, why are we all of a sudden being a drop back and you watch them do it and they all
playing out of character? For those who don't know, translation for Jeff is you stop running the ball.
Yeah,
that's pretty much
if
like
you're successful.
Because last week or a couple weeks ago, the Bills, you were like, why'd they giving Cook the ball?
Why? Makes no sense.
So Domonique, I've been with you for several weeks, and you've started on the Eagles, and I know there's a Mahomes fear factor on this, but like I think deep down, is it fair to characterize that you think the Eagles are better, even if the
for sure.
So what's different about this year than last year? Because this matchup is so similar to the 49ers versus the Chiefs last year.
The difference is it's this year. And last year, I thought the 49ers were going to win because they were a better team. And then I watched what happened. And I was like, you know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to wake up on Monday morning and be like, what an idiot. Like, what an idiot.
It's true.
It's like, I'm picking out of fear.
Yeah.
I feel like on Monday morning,
100%.
I'll be able to go and get up and say, you know what? Patrick Mahomes didn't get it done, but I feel fine with the choice that I made.
Yeah.
I would feel a lot dumber if I go on there and say, again, for the second year in a row, I doubted Patrick Mahomes, as I did all for much of this season in the Chiefs. I think that's what, like, he's so good.
It's
that
100% true. It is 100%
so good.
driven out of you. Just, I mean,
What decision do I think I can justify?
Let's put this in perspective. We have said that their point differential is terrible. We don't know how they're lucky to whatever. People have said all these things. They lost one meaningful game, bro. One.
Yeah.
They're freaking good, man. Like however you want. Like it's as good as the Eagles are. You are going to have to dethrone the Chiefs. Like, so you dethrone them, man. I will tip my cap. I will celebrate. But it's like I am yet to see a team, and the team that did beat them when they played them the second time. What happened? Went right back.
Yep.
Lost that one. So I just, it's hard for me to go. I bet it's 100% out of fear.
Yeah.
And
it just feels
scary
like
money don't make money. That's what it is. Scary money don't make money.
It does feel like what's happening here is an aberration. Like, I would never feel this way before. Like, one of the Super Bowls that I am proudest of calling is the Eagles over the Patriots. Because in that one, I was like, you know what? This D-line is too damn good.
Too good.
They're going to lose because the line is too good. And then I made a mistake and picked the Chiefs over the Bucks in that Super Bowl, and it was like, all right, the O-line is too bad. And I think that's what it comes down to, is the O-line is serviceable enough that in the D-line that we're seeing from the Eagles is good, but it's not as good as that old Eagles O-line or the old Eagles D-line or the D-line of like the Giants or something. And I'm like, if it's close enough, and I think that's what it is I feel like it's close enough that I have to give the nod to, and this probably, honestly, is me trying to rationalize the fact that I'm just scared to be wrong about Patrick again.
For sure.
And I'm finding an explanation for it, but underneath all of it is Monday morning, if Mahomes loses, I'm comfortable with saying I picked Mahomes.
Yep.
I'm less comfortable saying I doubted him again.
Agreed. Agreed.
So we've gone through the major storylines. Last thing on this. Is there an under-the-radar player that you think could have a huge impact on this game? And this is tough because these are brand-name star players littered across these rosters.
I mean, I think I would go maybe Dallas Goedert for the Eagles. Is like, I think they got, it depends on how they try to cover him, because they have, the Chiefs have big run stuffers at linebacker. Like, I don't want to see the Chiefs linebackers in coverage. And I guess maybe they'll give Goddard, he'll get some more attention from the safeties or whatever. That could be one on that side for the Eagles. I think also for the Eagles, I think Nolan Smith is like,
Could be special.
He could give Tooney hell. And if we are all anticipating that Carter's the man, Nolan Smith has been really impressive this year. I don't know. I mean, on the other side, I guess it's, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised by Kelsey. I don't think that counts.
It's definitely not under the radar.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I feel like Xavier Worthy could have like similar to the way that Kadarius Toney, like, they had plays specially designed for him in that game. He had that big punt return. Like, Xavier Worthy could surprise us with some awesome plays like that. I like Reed on the defense for the Chiefs as like someone who is could surprise and have a big impact on stopping the run, either the quarterback or the running back. So those are the things that pop up to me. I hope I didn't take yours, Jeff.
Yeah, you did, but it's
okay.
I mean,
sorry, you can double down on it.
Basically, you left me like Will Shipley, like the great white hope. Just made, but don't get caught again. Don't get hawked down at the 5, dog. I mean, you can't double cover, dog. You can't double cover. You're a freaking running back, dog.
I texted Charlie, and Charlie said, "You know he ran a 4.3." No, he did not. I don't give a damn what that combine say. He did not run a 4.3.
You don't get walked running a 4.3
you
like
don't
that,
get
dog.
walked running a 4.3.
He was so excited he busted through, dog. You're like, no. I will say I agree. I think for me, like a Worthy, I tell you this too, man. Hopkins, like Hopkins could have a day. Like I think Hopkins, getting it through that zone, catching and running a run after the catch. I think he could do something special. But when I look at the Eagles, he's not an under the radar, but I would say Smith. Like I said this on air earlier. He's played the Chiefs 3 times. He's had 6 or more catches in all 3 games. He's had 99 or more yards in all 3 games, and 2 or more explosive in all 3 games. So he sets up well. Now it just depends on how they decide to play him. But if they just decide, hey, we're gonna match him up, he's one that I would say could do something special.
I love that.
Will Shipley, don't put money on that. That was just a joke.
We are not giving gambling advice. No. Although Jeff like to risk a little bit every now and then.
I ain't scared of it.
They got Jeff hotel next to casino.
Boost it.
I don't know if my dog gonna make it home tonight.
We had a really good championship week, fellas. Really good championship week.
You, Jeff.
We did well championship week.
Dinner's on Saturday.
But before we gotta get out of here, I've been walking around with Domonique.
Oh.
There have been a lot of big dogs where people are, what up, big dog? Is this a week record for most big dogs you've gotten walking around New Orleans? Because you guys have to be like the biggest, like this is your scene.
For sure. And name recollection probably isn't on the top of any of our lists. So it's like, what's up, dog? What's up? How you living, man? Good.
ESPN.
Everything going good? Yeah. I mean, it's tough. Like, and we've changed, bro. Like, we've changed. We got some gray hair.
Yeah.
We're a little heavier. Bodies don't look quite, or some of us thinner.
Yeah. It's like a little different.
It's just a little different. So it's a way to pay respect without being like, embarrassing yourself because you call a cat the wrong name. Like, who is that? Yeah, man, my bad. So you give a lot of what's up.
Yeah. And it's how you been is a good one too because
always.
you don't want to do great to meet you.
Nah.
Great to meet you is a risk. It's a risk. It's how you been. You hit him with big dog. I gotta mix it something else.
I hit on how's life treating you.
Yeah,
that's a smooth one.
That's a smooth one right there. That's a smooth one.
I like treating you. Oh man, Nashville's great.
And then it rings up.
My man, I know
that's
this.
A veteran move right there. That's a veteran move.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it pays dividends. Gives you a little more info. About the kid. They name a kid. They name a. Oh yeah. There we go.
Yeah. How things going?
We're in.
Family all right?
I ain't got no kids, man. Oh, my bad.
No, I mean, your mom is your somebody. Somebody, I know you related to somebody.
Yes, sir.
The last thing I'll say before we shut this down is I got approached today after Get Up by a lawyer who lives her name is Megan, who lives in Nashville. And she said, make sure you take care of the snack. Talk about my man Charlie Kravitz, the vanilla snack. She was like, Charlie,
I do need to be taken care of. Domonique is
make sure you take care of the snack. Don't let the snack get in trouble gallivanting around this city.
He's making sure I make my flight home.
All right, Jeff, I appreciate you, man.
Love you, fellas.
Tomorrow morning is our last little bit of action, then we get up out of here.
That's it.
Appreciate you, bud.
See y'all. Appreciate you.
All right, we are joined by Bijan Robinson and Tyler Allgeier. They're here representing Bounty, and they are on the circuit. First of all, before we get to what you guys have been doing here on Radio Row, I want to talk about the food in New Orleans. Yeah. So what's the spots that you guys hit that's been the best that we got to make sure we hit while we're here?
Man, so I hit Mondays yesterday. Gas. Oh, my gosh. That was so yummy. So we got I'll give you the order. So we got the shrimp, artichoke dip, the seafood pizza as little appetizers, gas, and then got a little lamb chops. So it should be, those are cool.
like
and then
chops.
for dessert, they had 2 beignets. They had the sweet potato, and then on the secret menu,
big bag.
Secret
menu, it was the Mardi Gras style beignets. Oh my God, they were so good.
That sounds great though.
You eating like a 90s running back. Like you
I eat all of it.
It was more people.
Come on, man.
God. I mean, I haven't had nothing yet, but I'm definitely gonna try that Mondays today.
Oh, yeah, we
I'm
gonna
definitely
be
going.
there.
This man made it sound so good.
Mondays on a Thursday, man.
That's an
man.
insane order for like 2 people though. Yeah, that's a lot.
No, those Rivas.
Oh, yeah, it's so much better now.
Yeah, so,
All right.
You
Yeah.
guys
More to
been enjoying doing the. I guess this is a bad question to ask because you're doing an interview right now, but I know that it sometimes it gets exhausting running around and doing all these things and asking the same question. So we're gonna figure it out. What of this situation has there been anything that's been fun or funny or interesting that happened to you guys since you've been here?
Oh man, absolutely. I mean, well, yesterday I did this TikTok championship thing, and my team, we won, so that was fun.
What was the competition?
The TikTok Bowl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like the Super Bowl like TikTok thing. But that was just a good time, just being around like a lot of TikTokers and competing and having fun playing games. Like that was pretty cool.
So nobody has been able to beat my man Charlie's story so far. On the flight down here, I'm gonna embarrass you a little bit.
He's gonna embarrass
So Charlie's a DC guy, grew up, born and raised in DC. On the flight down from DC to here, Jayden Daniels and his mom were sitting in first class.
Okay.
Charlie walked past, and rather than just walking past and having a seat, Charlie stopped and looked at Jayden's mom and said, "Your son changed my life."
Oh,
So Jane had the
No, don't try. Let it sit for a second. Don't try to bulldoze through it.
changed my life.
He did.
So he's a commander. He's a Commanders, a lifelong
Okay,
Commanders fan.
nice.
And they've been terrible since
I get it.
Charlie's been
I
alive.
get it.
So
That's
his
cool.
son
That's-
changed my life.
That's cool as heck.
He had
That's cool as
the-
heck. He
Respect,
had an
man.
amazing season, bro. Like, yeah, I see why.
He had the shiesty pulled up. He had the headphones on.
Just
I
don't.
don't want to.
Just don't say it out loud. Okay, you're a man.
hey, good for you, man.
Hey, bro, hats off.
Are there fan interactions that you guys have had that have been funny that are worth sharing?
Yeah, actually, honestly, recently, like a couple days ago, this dude like dropped to his knees in the airport and was like, "Yo, like you're right in front of me," and he like dropped to his knees and like gave me a hug. I was like,
No.
I was like,
Huh?
"Yo,
That's
I
too
was
close
like,
to
nah.
literal glazing.
nah."
Literally.
Yeah, I was
man.
like, "What's going on here, bro? Like, that's insane." But yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. What about you, little Tyson?
A fan wanted me to sign their baby's head, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
You couldn't? You said no?
I said no.
crazy.
I said, hey, I'll do the
That's
little
fair.
onesie, man.
That's fair. I mean, the baby didn't have a
head
choice in
is-
this.
the
It's
head
like,
is
man,
crazy, bro.
Little newborn
That's
didn't
wild.
want the toxic, the sharpness on it. Come on,
the
bro.
head,
Can't
like,
do that.
yeah, like what if that like messes up? I don't know.
yeah, the baby gonna have a
Baby gonna come out real dumb.
Tyler rash. his head gonna say Tyler for the rest of his
Nah,
life. You can't
facts,
have
bro.
it.
It'd be crazy. It'd be crazy.
All right, so we'll play a little game with you guys. We're gonna do superlatives.
Okay.
What do you say?
Superlatives. Like
Superlatives.
in your high school yearbook, like most likely to be successful.
Yeah.
One of those,
okay.
like
Yeah.
Superlatives.
yeah.
That's a big word for you.
Man, I ain't never heard that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think in my life.
That BYU education.
Hey,
Hey,
they didn't teach me that one.
soaking it all in.
Okay.
But
Soaking it all in. You're
hey, we're on behalf of Bounty. The quickest February
you were
pickup.
saying,
That's
hey.
totally
Can
okay.
I have football without wings? You can't have wings without bounty, baby. Come
Can't,
on.
you
without
can't have
bounty.
wings without bounty, baby. Come on.
Exactly right. Can't soak it up without Bounty.
Stop it. Read the superlatives, please.
First one. We'll start generic. Most underrated player you've ever played with.
I don't know.
Honestly, I'm gonna say Tyler. I think he is underrated. I think people can't forget like this dude really did rush for 1,000 yards in his first season, and I mean this dude is continuing like he's so consistent with the football in his hands. Like man's dominant. So I'm gonna say people don't give him credit enough. So I'm gonna say Tyler.
Yeah. What about? Oh, that was really cute. It
Appreciate
really made
that,
me
mama.
happy.
Yeah.
Oh, you know
Appreciate
the
that,
crowd,
bro.
bro.
Who's the best trash talker? On your team or not?
We'll go on the team. We got to give it to.
Got to be a corner.
I gotta
man.
say
Like,
Drake.
Okay.
Yeah. You piss him off. He's going crazy.
Yeah, Drake.
Yeah, Drake London, bro. Come
Drake's
on, bro.
that guy for sure.
That's Drizzy right there, man.
You are. You guys might be the only guys who are propping up Drake right now. Obviously, you're talking about Drake London, not the other Drake.
Oh, hey, he coming back slowly. He coming back slowly. He may have an
He
insane
putting
concert.
out a Valentine's album, which I don't think is the move. When
But are you still gonna listen to it?
hell no.
I am.
That's such hey, that's cat,
Let's
bro.
be
That's
real.
big cat, bro. Like you definitely gonna listen to that, bro. Don't even. He said,
You're right. You're
He'll
right.
be the
You're
first
right.
one.
You're right. I'm putting it on.
Right when that album
It's
dropped.
gonna be smooth. It's gonna be smooth.
11:59.
Yeah, Charlie.
Most likely to get in a fight on the team plane. I mean, that laugh, I know there's an answer.
Most likely to get a fight.
On a team plane.
Would you say Ray?
Ray's a great choice.
I think Ray McLeod. Like
Ray,
I feel like if you like say the wrong thing to him, he will check you.
Yeah.
I like that.
He will check you in your chin probably.
All right, last question. We shut it
Okay.
down with this.
Okay.
Who is the best wingman on the team?
If you guys are going out, who do you need with you?
All right. Well, besides Tyler, for me, I'll say, I'll say Drake.
Oh,
I'll say Drake.
He's
for
running
sure.
away with all the awards. You got a
Yeah,
different
yeah.
answer?
I'll go Drizzy too, man. But if I had to change,
Or AJ Terrell. I'll say
Oh,
AJ.
yeah. Finally, some love for the
It's for
cornerbacks.
DBs.
I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah, I'll say
it. DBs,
AJ.
man, we swaggy. Going to draw
Yeah.
the attention.
man,
No doubt.
go to. If it's not Drizzy, we'll go Young Way.
Oh,
Young boy.
With my boy Avery.
Young boy. Or Jesse Bates.
Jesse Bates.
Bro, he's a good one, bro. He'll protect the whole
Or
group.
Grady.
Bro, just everybody, man.
Yeah,
Like,
we'll get all.
a team,
The whole
everybody
Atlanta
can
Falcons,
come,
everybody
man.
can come,
Team
bro.
full of
They all my
wingmen.
wingmen.
All great people.
All right, well, we appreciate it. You want to shut us down?
Yeah, we really appreciate you coming on behalf of Bounty, Bijan Robinson, Tyler
Yeah.
Allgeier. You want to plug anything? Anywhere to follow you guys on social?
Yeah, I mean, social media, Instagram is just my name, Bijan Robinson.
Yep, and then _Ty. Allgeier on.
I don't like the way you said
IG?
that. Why you rub your hands together like that?
No.
It's just a bird.
Birdman gift?
It seemed
Yeah.
like Bijan was giving his socials for everybody.
You know?
You was giving your socials for one person in particular.
Yeah, for my girlfriend right over there.
There it is.
Right over there, man. That's it.
My God. There it is. Perfect.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool, man. Yeah, thank you guys, man.
This is the Domonique Foxworth Show.